Pleased to be joined now by the head coach of the Salmon Arm Silverbacks, Tyler Shattock. And Tyler, it's been just over a week at camp so far. Last week you had just over 40 guys at camp. How was last week overall?
Yeah, I thought it went pretty good. I think obviously with the world that we're in right now, it's a little bit tough to manage 40 guys with all the rules with COVID and stuff going on. But I thought the guys overall did pretty good. A lot of practices, high tempo stuff where maybe some guys weren't quite used to it, but it gives them a pretty good perspective of what we're going to be doing going forward. And then for the young guys that we had here, gives them obviously a goal to reach and obviously to close that gap to be junior hockey players. So overall, I thought it went really well.
So you cut down to 30 players. Why that number?
Cut down to 30, just kind of keep a few extra guys for practices. We have to do two sessions, obviously. If we kind of cut it down too far, we're going to be running pretty short numbers out there. So, and then we had a bunch of young guys here, and they got to get back to their midget programs and different things like that to obviously get going. I know some of these guys have to quarantine for 14 days when they go back to their programs. So the sooner we can get them back there and integrated with their programs back home, the better for them, and they can get their season going.
Is there anything over the past week that you've been the most impressed with, whether it's on the ice or off the ice?
I think just the overall willingness to kind of do what we're doing, right? I mean, it hasn't been easy here so far. It's been part of the process here to give these guys an understanding of the pace we want to play at. The BCHL is a very fast league, and we want to be playing fast with pace and moving the puck and different things like that. So overall, I think just the willingness to learn and listen and kind of try different things that maybe they haven't done in the past. So that's kind of what I'm overall the most impressed with these guys, is their ability to adapt and learn on the fly and kind of keep up.
Now that you are down to 30, does anything change with the approach or the process?
I don't think anything really changes. We still got to do two groups and different things like that. We're obviously in a little bit of a weird scenario where we got about 2.5 months here before we play, so we're kind of running this as a normal training camp here for the first 2 weeks, and then as we cut down numbers again, we'll kind of enter into this I guess extended player development model where we're doing practices to get ready for the season, but also doing a lot of skill development, power skating, different things of that nature to kind of help our guys individually grow, but also we're growing as a team here, getting obviously ready for December 1st or whenever that time is we get to play. So a little mixture of both, and it'll be good for our guys and good for our team.
The fact that you have this long, I know everyone does, but does it help you in any way that it is longer before the season starts?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it helps or hinders us. I think honestly with the way things went this year, it might help the players more. With gyms being closed, rinks being closed in the summer, I don't think a lot of guys got their full variety of training or skating and skill development that they normally would get. So the last thing we want to do as a league and as a team is put our guys out there 60% when NCAA schools are looking, and then they kind of get turned off because we don't have our guys at 100%. So I think it's going to be a good thing that we can get these guys to 100% of themselves and what they can do to show the NCAA schools exactly who they are, and we can kind of show the NCAA exactly who we are as a team going forward and give those guys the best opportunity to get scholarships and move on as possible.
Now yesterday it was a holiday, but it was everyone's favorite time. It was fitness testing. How did fitness testing go?
Yeah, I think it went pretty good. We got about half of it done. We still got a bit more stuff here to do throughout this week, but seeing as the rink wasn't open, we got a lot of stuff done outside where we did the Okanagan run, and then a lot of med ball athletic ability, different things, not a lot of heavy strenuous lifting or anything like that, but just kind of measuring guys' athletic abilities and obviously what they did in the off season. And overall, I think the scores were pretty good. I think if we're just putting them on a spreadsheet now, but if I compared them to last year, I think on average as a whole, and then our returning guys would have all done better this year than they did last year, which kind of is what we're looking for, is just continual improvement. And that's a testament to those guys. They kind of knew what was going to happen, and then they want to be leaders here this year. So And then after that, the guys that are young guys this year can do the same thing next year. So it's all about just creating a culture here of what we want and what a silverback looks like. And I think our older guys did a good job of proving to the younger guys that's what it looks like.
Were there any individual surprises, maybe? Someone who did really good in certain events?
I don't know if there's individual. I mean, there's a few guys that kind of stood out. Obviously, Danny Cicerello looks like a man out there, and he's hucking the ball 33 feet and different things like that, right? So, obviously, Carter Loney finished the top of the Okanagan run and different things like that. So, pretty impressed with those guys and pretty impressed overall with our recruits and our older guys, the shape that they came in. Given the circumstances of the summer, I mean, some guys could have took the summer off, right, and just used COVID as an excuse, but it looked like our guys obviously went to work and did whatever they could with what they could back home, and that's a testament to them that they're dedicated to this season and they're dedicated to getting better.
Now I know it's been just over a week, so it's not too much time, but in terms of a style of play or your team's strengths, how do you think it's all coming together?
Yeah, I mean, our style of play is going to be up-tempo. I think you saw a little bit in the second half last year. We're going to try to wear teams down, and I'm all for team men jumping in the rush. I think if you watch the NHL and the college level game these days, it's all about adding that fourth D-man on the rush, moving the puck, getting up quickly, transitioning. But overall, I just want to play a high-tempo game that gives our guys a lot of offensive leeway, but at the same time, that leeway doesn't come in our end of the rink, and we'll play a very structured D zone, which as coaches we kind of call our zone, and then we'll give our guys a little bit of freedom. We have some pretty highly talented, skilled guys that need that offensive freedom to show their creativity and make plays and different things like that, but we'll obviously hold them accountable that that's not coming at risk of defense and putting goals in our net.
Now, is it fair to say that up-tempo style, but also taking care of your own zone, a lot of new recruits and a lot of off-season acquisitions, for those guys that you acquired and those recruits, did that go into the style of play? They had to fit?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't bring in guys here that we don't watch and obviously really study their game and want them to fit kind of what we're going to play, so that we're not having to teach a whole new style or different things like that. So obviously when going into the recruiting process, we look at that, and you can kind of see it with our back end right now. We wanted guys that can move the puck and skate. It's hard to teach offensive instincts and kind of stuff like that those guys have. It we can teach the defense. Everybody can play defense. It's just a willingness to do it. So it's hard to find guys that can skate, move the puck, want to jump in the rush, want to create offensively, but that's kind of what we went with, and we'll teach these guys how to play defense and play obviously, I mean, not that they don't know how to do it now, but the structure in our D zone that we want to play this year, we can teach them, and we'll play as a 5-man unit so we can get up and get out of our zone as fast as we can so they can go have some fun in the offensive zone.
Of the new recruits, is there anyone who has stood out on the ice so far?
I mean, I don't want to name names. I think that's kind of a slight to everybody. I think everybody's been doing really good. I mean, we have some guys coming in that are going to some pretty good schools, and I mean, Carter Loney is one that came in here with some pretty high expectations, and I think he's lived up to those, and he comes and works every day. He doesn't have an ego, and he's been a really good leader kind of for our group here come in camp, with just going out and doing his thing, and just basically kind of just proving it on the ice. He's not a loud guy, but every time he steps on the ice, he's creating something. But everybody else, I mean, you can see Joaquim LeMay's skating ability out there and different guys. I mean, those are just a couple, but we're pretty impressed with all our recruits here coming in.
Perfect, thanks. We'll catch up with you as camp goes on, but thank you so much.
No worries, thank you.